indoor situation, you don't have the predators that you have outdoors, so these pest populations can actually explode. And we've heard all sorts of people using all sorts of pesticides to try to take care of this situation, everything from bug bombs to miticides and you name it. There was actually a very interesting story I read in the newspaper of a woman that owned a clinic in the Bay Area. And mites are a big problem on marijuana, and you know, some of the most toxic materials that's come to our attention are these miticides that are being used. There was a woman that owned a clinic in the Bay Area, and she was constantly handling marijuana. Apparently, a lot of the marijuana she was handling had been treated with these miticides. One in particular is called Avid. Well, this woman ended up having a terrible allergic reaction to just handling the marijuana with miticides on it, and ended up dying from that allergic reaction. So there are some serious consequences with some of these pesticides, and the reason the EPA establishes these residue tolerances is to determine what a safe level of exposure is. Well, you know, most of the time this material is burned and consumed by combustion, so I think, you know, that's really going to change some of the chemical properties of what you're taking into your body. Okay, the crop report issue. This really seems to get a lot of attention. The Food and Agricultural Code does require that the Agricultural Commissioner collect and compile statistics on the acreage, production, and value of agricultural products produced in his county. So that's a fairly general requirement there, as you can see. You could easily interpret that to think that the Agricultural Commissioner should collect information on marijuana production. There's been a lot of inquiries and requests that the Agricultural Commissioner do this. And just to go back in history, as Hal mentioned earlier, in 1979, 3 agricultural commissioners put marijuana in their crop report. It was Del Norte County, Mendocino County, and Trinity County. Ted Erickson was the ag commissioner in Mendocino County at that time. 90 million is what he put for the value of marijuana in 1979. Last year's grape crop was worth 75 million. Last year's timber crop was worth 74 million. So this is the value from 1980. So I don't think there's any question what the #1 crop in Mendocino County is in terms of dollar value. I've also told people that I believe the #1 agricultural job is not picking grapes or pears. I believe it's trimming buds from what I've seen out there. Anyhow, 3 ag commissioners put marijuana in their crop report in 1979, and that caused a huge uproar, as you can imagine. And this, I'm going to read you a brief letter that was written to Ted Erickson, Mendocino County's agricultural commissioner, by the chairman of the Assembly Committee on Agriculture. And this is in 1979, after the marijuana crop report came out. Dear Mr. Erickson, I was appalled to receive today a copy of your 1979 crop report in which you provided data which calculated marijuana production in Mendocino County having amounted to 90 million. As chairman of the Assembly Committee on Agriculture, I think that it is ridiculous for you as a county employee and a representative of the Director of Food and Agriculture to waste taxpayers' dollars collecting such data. I am the one legislator who has been most active in upgrading the conditions of our agricultural commissioners who provide an important function for the agricultural community and the general public. The marijuana production data is only preliminary. Are we to expect more staff time wasted calculating additional information? So that was the letter that Mr. Erickson received from the Committee on Agriculture. The commissioner in Del Norte County responded to this letter, and this is his response. He also received a copy of the same letter that Ted Erickson received. Dear Mr. Thurman, I am in receipt of a copy of your letter of May 13th, 1980, sent to Agricultural Commissioner Erickson of Mendocino County regarding marijuana. In this regard, I would like to share a few thoughts with you. Section 2279 of the Food and Ag Code requires agricultural commissioners to compile reports of the condition, acreage, production, and value of the agricultural products in his county. Marijuana is an agricultural crop. It is planted, cultivated, irrigated, harvested, and sold. The cultivators of this crop also apply pest control measures to protect the crop from animals, rodents, disease organisms, and insects. The fact that the cultivation of marijuana is illegal is beside the point as far as the Agricultural Commissioner is concerned in his reporting of agricultural crop production. The collection of marijuana data upon which to base production and value is fairly easily obtained with minimal effort from the county sheriff, the Forest Service, the BLM, and the Drug Enforcement Task Force. So what happened in 1979 after Ted put it in the crop report is the Board of Supervisors in Mendocino County issued a minute order prohibiting putting statistics on marijuana in the county crop report. Recently, this past year, 2 supervisors expressed interest to have us collect and compile that information again, much to our dismay. My boss, David Bankston, let it be known to the board that not only would they have to reverse the minute order that was issued in 1979 that prohibited the Agricultural Commissioner from collecting this information, but they would have to then issue a new minute order directing my boss to collect the information. Clearly, there's some legal issues here. County council would definitely have to weigh in on this. I mean, we'd be collecting information on illegal activities, and I'm not sure that that's kosher. Besides the notion that these people way out in the hills, you know, abusing the environment in these huge grows are going to call us and inform us of their acreage, yield, and production seems somewhat absurd.